I became the first president of the statewide program. I was the first non-attorney president of any statewide program in the country. And after that, when like coming to NLADA and a lot of the clients found out about it, a lot of clients went back to their local programs and said, Harry did it in Indiana, I'm going to do it in Pennsylvania or whatever state. And so now you have several non-attorney president of board of directors of legal service program in the country. That may be one of the highlights.
Once I got involved and started, I was given a voice, and a very powerful voice. So I'm the monster that Legal Action of Wisconsin made. And as I said before, they're the ones sending me to NLADA, which they often hated doing because I came back more forceful and empowering.
In 1973, I was asked, my brother and I, to be on the board of directors of legal services. And I told them, we both looked at each other and said, we don't know anything about being on a board. They said, well, you will be trained. Trust me, you will be trained. And that started it. Over the years, we were taught how to negotiate, where to sit, how to sit around the tables among your peers, among the attorneys, how to gain confidence in them to get them to understand the vote, to see things your way. And as well as my fact of doing private investigative work, I helped a lot of folks that were innocent, actually innocent, helped to prove that they were innocent.
I'm on the client policy group. I'm the vice chair for the client policy group. I'm on the board, and I'm on several committees, and I'm on the defender council as well. My bitter experience with my attorney that I had, it could have changed me to the point where I said, I don't even like public defenders or defenders anymore. But I took that as a positive and said, let me see what I can do to help, to make them understand, to look at us as a human and not as a caseload or a number. We're human. We have families, we have children, we have jobs. We're human. So learn us before you judge us and not even look into our life history. I love going to law universities to speak to the young law students, because I like to tell people you got into this for a reason. Don't lose your passion. Don't lose what you started this for when your caseloads get heavy and you're tired and you're drained and exhausted and you just want to rush through the day. Don't forget, at the end of the day, we're human.
I don't need you in a room with a bunch of folks that think we are the problem, having these negative discussions about my people in my community. But that might never change. But it's my mission to always try to have the conversation. There are some people in my community who have no money and no benefits, and they ain't crazy and they ain't mentally ill, okay? So I recognize that I'm not really, really poor, but what are we gonna do about those people who don't have a voice and they don't have resources?
I start saying, man, we gotta do something. Then I start seeing this. People in the communities, mom and dad's is on paperwork, the kids is on paperwork, but by law they can't be together because they both on paperwork, can't come back to the same house. You throwing them into the fire, you throwing them out, what's going on? Some of that stuff gotta change.
Persecuted. We wanted to do something for community.
Right, and other than drugs and crime, other than arrest the people.
We saw a bigger need.
Other than these.
You got kids that are running around that need something. You got families that need, and you talking to me about drugs and crime and the demolishment of my community, because when we come back, we counted homes and there's 38 homes gone.
38 homes in 10 years destroyed using
and
CDBG dollars, and only you built one.
Okay.
Systematically destroying our community.
So therefore, we found the need for committed citizens of Waverly.
Everything has changed. Everything has changed.
And as a result of that, the community itself has changed, because now they do more by standing up for themselves. Mm-hmm. If something's going on, they call, they ask, what do we do? How do we do this? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Give me some guidance. I'll take it on. I just need to know what I have to do and how do I have to go about it.
Right.
You know, they don't want to go out there and run without saying,
What do I do? What are the
what's
steps
the
that I need to
protocol?
take?
You know, whatever it is. And it's a beautiful thing because they will come now and just share.
I was offered the opportunity along with Rosita and Jennifer and Rich to be the first clients to speak before the board appointed by Barack Obama, the LSC board of directors. We were the first clients to speak to them, the four of us in Seattle, Washington. Yes, in July 2011, I think it was, and I felt so honored to be asked to be able to speak before them, and it was great.
It was 6 of us that got together and flyered the whole complex of 540 units. We organized meetings. We spoke with our city councilors. We spoke with state reps. We held rallies. We did not win to keep it affordable, so we got involved with Greater Boston Legal Services through the Mass Alliance of HUD Tenants, and they helped us do a lawsuit against discrimination, and we're still fighting that fight.
I work in the clinic, so it's healthcare. What I've realized is that I have to take one thing, and that's what I do. That's what I do well, that's what I do. But refer to other folks who are doing other things, because you can't do it all. So I'm a housing advocate, so that's what I do. So housing, that's what I do.
It would be great to have a workshop where you do individual meetings as a board track with attorneys and clients, so they can begin to learn how to have that one-on-one conversation instead of all the lawyers meeting for breakfast or all the clients meeting. Why don't we say, and I would say, can you meet me for breakfast before the board meeting? I'd really like to get to know you. And they're like, really? It's like, it's strange for someone to ask them that they want to get to know them. Imagine the biggest, what would this dream neighborhood look like? Our own clinic, safe parks, families walking, taking walks, kids riding their bikes. None of that's happening right now because it's so unsafe. And because of the safety issue, it's a health issue. People don't walk. They don't take their kids on their bikes because of the gangs, because of the drugs, because of speeding, because of all this unsafe. So it's working with the police department, the Chief Acevedo. We've had a lot of meetings with him. And so now we have a real good partnership with the police. And I know there's still a lot of legal aid issues. And so this year we have a pro bono student who's now going to be working on legal aid issues with Mr. Bauer. And I said, well, we need to get some clients on that advisory board for the neighborhood so that there's that connection all the time.
Did you by any chance bother to ask us if that's what we needed? I mean, you had us in a meeting. Why didn't you ask if that's what we needed? Because what you think we may need may not necessarily be what we need. And I said, and you know what? It's not you do. And thank you so much. Oh, yes, sir, thank you. No, that's not the way it works. Because we live in the community. We know what we need. Ask us, and we'll work better that way. And then treat us as people who are intelligent, who know what we're doing, who know what we want. And within the bylaws, I was in the bylaws committee. There were actually 3 of us took on the job of reading the bylaws of the whole program and redoing the bylaws. And I had the caucus incorporated as a standing committee of the board, along with the executive committee and the financial committee. So now there's 3 standing committees that cannot be voted out, cannot be dismantled. And so now we have in a short place, and everybody knows that we're not an invited guest. We're stakeholders, and we own as much as everybody else.
My main feature is to deal with the seniors, to make sure that if they're being abused, that I can talk talk them into coming forward and telling the authorities what the problem is. And I was a den mother for the Club Scouts for 5 years. And now they're all grown men, they're old men, they come up, hug and kiss me and say to me, "You was my den mother." I said, "I was your what?" They say, "You was my den mother, Miss Gwen." And I'll be 90 the 9th of January.
It's amazing.
And I'm proud of my life because I have been around to do something. We had a fair at one of the hotels, and the young man who was walking around in the hotel, he came and he grabbed me. He said, "Miss Johnson," he said, "I am so glad to see you." He said, "And I just want to say to you, thank you." He said, "Because if you the cause of me being what I am today."